What is up, everyone? Shotgun Crypto here. In this video, we are finally going to talk about Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, just like we've promised you, or just like I've promised you. It's not like, unless you're hearing voices I don't hear, right? So anyways, let's just dive right in. So as you can see right now, I have the daily charts pulled out. So each candle, in other words, is representative of one day, right? And so as you can see, that's where we are right now. We're kind of, we dipped down a little bit, right? And then we've been just hovering around here. And personally, I don't think that there is much to be alarmed about, even though we are going to cover both scenarios if we were to break up or if we were to break down from here. And as you can see, we're kind of comfortable here. There is a level of support, and that's why we're just meandering here for now. Because if you were to extrapolate from here, if you go farther back, and I know it went up a little bit since from the moment when I first started analyzing this chart, because it was further down, so it was around here. And so as you can see, you see multiple levels of confluence here to confirm this level of support. So for instance, you see that it goes down, bounces up from here, then goes back up, right? And you see the same thing around here. It goes down, bounces back up, using this level as a level of support. And so from what I can see right now, we'll have to keep monitoring this, but I think the more probable scenario here is that we're going to bounce back up more or less, because as you can see below, right beneath the charts, we see the RSI in purple, right? And you see it's being reset. It's going back down again. And so at the same time, if you go look beneath that, you see the MACD, you see I know I keep on citing these, but I really like these indicators. But if you go farther down, you see the blue line, the red line, that's the MACD. We're set for a cross as well, which would also be a bullish sign. At the same time, if you look back at the chart, back up here, you see that the EMAs, the moving averages, both the 9-day and I believe, let's see, yeah, so I have the 26-day EMA plotted out in green. So you see the blue line and the green line, they're also set for a cross as well. And so those will all be bullish signs. So from what I can see, most likely what we're having right now is we're just going down a little bit to consolidate before we go right back up. And so when we do go right back up, eventually we are going to encounter this blue line right here that I've drawn out. And this is probably no surprise to anyone who's looking into these charts, because we've seen that for a while. That's going to be our next level of resistance that we have to break. But if we do break past that resistance, I do want to highlight, so in the long run, I kind of see this, I guess it's not exactly perfect, right? So I drew out the blue lines here and here, and you see that as being a broadening triangle, which is kind of rare. And I know it's not precise, right? Because we do see this aberration. It went all the way down before it went back up to this pattern again. And so when you do have a broadening triangle, obviously you're going to see a huge amount of volatility, right? In order to keep that pattern in place. If that pattern does hold, then you're going to see huge swings up, huge swings down. But what I do think would be interesting is that, so if we do breach past this level of resistance, and if we were to keep on going up, and eventually if we do set an all-time high, which in the long run, that's what I think most of us are expecting. So if not now, maybe in a few weeks, maybe in a month or two, maybe in a few months, but eventually, because we are still in a bullish season, eventually we are going to set an all-time high, and eventually I think this trend line will kind of more or less guide where we would be landing. So it could, depending on how long this drags out, we would be really looking out at this trend line for our next all-time high. But in the meantime, so what if we break down from here, which in my opinion, what if we break down from where we are right now, which in my opinion, I think it's less likely, but we do want to cover our bases here. So if we do break down from here, then I would say this blue line would be our next level of support. And as you can see, we also see confluence here, bounces down, bounces back up. So I would say that's a good level of support. And also, I'm not going to pull this up on screen, by the way, because it's kind of, I don't think the app that I'm using is all that user-friendly. Or maybe it's just because I'm bad with technology. But anyways, that is prior to making this video, when I was doing my own analysis, just diving in, looking into it, this is also the span B, in other words, the red line, the end of the Ichimoku cloud, the green. So there is a green Ichimoku cloud right here. This is the end of it. So definitely, I would expect this to be some strong level of support if we do bounce below where we are right now. Which once again, I don't think it's very likely. But if we were to continue, just as we've extrapolated, if we break past this line, where's the next level? So if the opposite happens, if we were to break down, and then if we keep breaking down, if we do break down from this level of support, and so where would we expect to go from here? And obviously this is, I think it's just something, it's just food for the thought, right? Just to keep in the back of your minds if it does happen. So if we do break past this line, then definitely the next line would be somewhere around here. As you can see, we also see level of support here, especially from our previous lows, the one that's consolidated around here. And so if we do break up from there, which I think if we go all the way down from here to here, definitely I think that the more probable scenario would be that we use this and bounce back up, which would be an extremely bullish sign, because as you might see, that would confirm a double bottom scenario, double bottom pattern, and which would project us all the way up here, almost to our last all-time high. And of course, if we break down from there, if we break down from here, then I would be really, really concerned, because if we were to break down here, then our next level of support would be this blue trend line at the very bottom. Once again, I think this isn't happening anytime soon. I think it's most likely that we're just going to hover around here before going back up again. But if we do hit this trend line here, if it does happen, then definitely then that's like where I would ring my alarm bells, right? Because if we break down from there, then things would get very, very ugly, because then it'll be kind of like a scenario where we either go up into heaven or go down to hell. Because if we go down here, and if we do bounce up, then once again, that'll just be a descending double bottom, right? And that would propel us all the way up. That would give us huge amount of bullish momentum, right? And then it'll propel us all the way up to our last all-time high, which hopefully we would break, and I think we probably would break, and then to a new all-time high. So that's the heaven scenario. If we don't break up from here, if we break down past this trend line, then here we have this head and shoulders pattern right here. And if it were to break down, then then it would be kind of sort of, I don't want to say game over, but we would be heading for some huge losses, which once again, I'm just putting that out there, just food for the thought. Most likely, I think it's very, very unlikely for that to happen, at least at the time of this video, but just want to put that out there. It's just, if you're, just for food for the thought, right? Just putting that out there, but most likely, just to recap this video. So right now, what we should be looking for is, if we were to break down from here, which I think most likely we are going to eventually, we might have some sideways action, where we might even break down from here and then use this as a level of support in order to consolidate. But eventually, I think most likely we are going to head back up here to test this level of resistance. But of course, we also want to be aware of, well, first of all, the long-term trajectory, which most likely is to keep on going up and away, or we could break down, in which case we would start to be more and more cautious, right? And so that is it for all I want to say about Bitcoin. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Please share it with your friends, share the wealth, or don't, up to you. But do leave me a comment in the comment section, right? I want to see your thoughts. I want to see if you really enjoy these videos. That would give me a lot of motivation to keep on making these videos. Or if you think these videos freaking suck, which would also give me motivation to make my videos better. Of course, if you have any suggestions on what we should be looking into, or just any constructive feedback, any feedback at all, feel free to let me know. And if you really want to keep up to date with these kind of videos, which are time sensitive, of course, as always, and if you want to stay up to date, then be sure to smash that subscribe button and enable notifications. Click on the bell button, enable all notifications so you don't miss out, all right? Until next time, peace out, guys.